Good day to all. Today we'll be learning the connection of relaxation oscillator. The second experiment for 18 CS CSL 37 syllabus. So this is the circuit given for relaxation oscillator. So here the active component is op amp. So to the op amp we have these components connected here. So the components required are 3 resistors. These are the 3 resistors, and this is a capacitor. This is the op amp. So according to the circuit, we'll do the connection. So this is the op amp. So on the op amp, to the left corner, you have a dot-like thing. So that should be facing away from you. So put that into the ZIF socket and lock the ZIF socket. So this is the op amp. We have connected the op amp into the ZIF socket. So here, first we'll start from pin number 2. So for pin number 2, we have connected in the circuit. It is capacitor 0.1 and the resistor 4.7K. So this is 4.7K. So I'll connect this resistor from pin number 2 to pin number 6. So at pin number 2, I'll connect one end of the resistor, and the other end I'll connect it to some other nearest pin, and from that pin I'll connect it to pin number 6. Because the length of the resistor is not sufficient to directly connect it to pin number 6. So regarding the pin numbers, I've already told in the previous experiment. Anyway, I'll again tell you. So this is the op amp, which has 1, 2, 3, 4 on the left side and 5, 6, 7, 8 on the right side. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 on the left side, and this is 5, 6, 7, 8 on the right side. So I have connected to pin number 2 the resistor 4.7K, and from the other end of the resistor I have connected it to pin number 6. So now I have to connect the capacitor 0.1 microfarad from pin number 2 to ground. So I will connect it from pin number 2. So this is pin number 2. I will connect one end of the capacitor to pin number 2 and other end to another pin, which I will take it as the ground. So this I'll take it as the ground. Then, so this is now connected. Grounding we'll do it when we connect the power supply. Now at pin number 3 we have to connect 10K and 10K. So now from pin number 3 we have to connect 2 resistors, one to the ground and other one to the output. So at pin number 3 I'll connect both the 10K resistors. One resistor I'll put it to ground, so I can't directly connect it to ground. I'll put it to some other pin here. Then the other 10K, so one 10K I'll connect it to the end of the capacitor, because even this has to be connected to pin number 6. So the other 10K I should ground it. So I'll connect to the nearest available pin. From that point I'll take a wire and connect it to the ground. So this is the circuit connection. So according to the circuit, you can see here at pin number 2 we have a capacitor which is grounded and a resistor which is connected to pin number 6. So that in the spring board you can see the capacitor which is grounded and the resistor which is connected to pin number 6. This is for pin number 2. Then coming to pin number 3, you can see that there are 2 10K resistors where one is grounded and the other one is connected to pin number 6. So here one 10K which is connected to pin number 6 and the other 10K which is grounded. So this is the connection for the components. So now we have to do the power supply connection. So this is the power supply we will be using. So here we'll connect common, that is for ground, then plus 12 for plus VCC, then minus 12 for minus VCC. So for op amp you will have 3 power supply connections. So you can see here in the circuit also pin number 7 should be connected to plus 15 and pin number 4 should be connected to minus 15, and common point is connected to ground. So we have to connect minus 12 to pin number 4, then plus 12 or plus 15. Here it is given as plus 15, but 12 or 15, whichever it is, fine. So in this supply the fixed voltage is plus 12, so I am connecting plus 12 to pin number 7, and minus 12 I am connecting it to pin number 4, and common I will connect it to the ground. So these are the power supply connections. So now the connections are over. We have to do the oscilloscope connection and check the output. So for connecting the oscilloscope, this is the oscilloscope. Here we have two channels. So channel A, I will connect the input. Input means this is also from the capacitor. So input is the sawtooth waveform here, which is taken from the capacitor. So you can see in the manual. So it is here, it is shown you have two waveforms. This is the sawtooth waveform and this is the rectangular waveform that is generated. So to get this sawtooth waveform, we have to do pin number 2 and negative to ground. So here this point is also ground because we have shorted these two. This or this, both are ground points. So for channel B, we have to connect the output. So in this circuit, that is in the op amp, the output is given at pin number 6. You can see here from pin number 6 we have taken the output. So positive of channel P, that is red color, should be connected to pin number 6. So red always indicates positive, black always indicates negative. So connect negative to ground and positive to pin number 6. So now the connections are over. We have to switch on the oscilloscope and the power supply. So there is a switch at the back of the supply. Switch on both and check whether you are getting the output. As the CRO is switched on, you can see that you can see some waveforms. So these waveforms are not clearly visible. So what you have to do is adjust the time per division scale, and if it is moving fast like this, you have to adjust the level knob here. You have a level knob, so rotate it slowly so that it will stop. The waveform will. The frequency. So frequency, we have designed it for 1 kilohertz. So now whatever we measure on this oscilloscope should also give you 1 kilohertz. So for measuring the frequency, we will measure the time period for the sawtooth waveform. So I'll just switch off the output of channel B so that I can measure time per division. So I will move this waveform horizontally so that I can coincide one of the peak to the center line. So for measuring the frequency, you have to measure the distance between one peak to the other peak, the horizontal distance from one peak to the other peak. You can consider any two peaks and measure the distance between any two peaks. So I am considering this from here to the next peak. So the distance is, as per the divisions, it is 3 divisions. So 3 divisions, if you want an accurate measurement, so it is 3.4. Each small division on the screen represents 0.2. So it is 3.4 divisions into the range selected here is 0.1 scale. So now you have to calculate the, so you have to write down, so time measured is 3.2 into 0.1 millisecond. So now we have to calculate the time. So for calculating the frequency, first measure the time period, that is the distance between two peaks. Distance between two peaks, measure it and write down here, and into the range that is selected, the range which is selected. So calculate the value, or you just write 1 by t, whatever the value you get here, divide that by 1. So this will give you the frequency in hertz. If it is more than 1000, you can make it as kilohertz, otherwise you can make it as hertz. So after that, So once you find out the frequency, you have to write down the waveforms also. Write down the waveforms in your notebooks as you are seeing it. So this completes the experiment for relaxation oscillator, which generates the oscillations, that is the rectangular oscillations are generated without any signal input. Only using the DC input it will be generating this rectangular waveforms. And this sawtooth waveform represents the charging of the capacitor, and this represents the discharging of the capacitor, because we are taking the output from the capacitor which is connected at pin number 2. So this gives the capacitor waveform which is charging and discharging, right? So this is the capacitor waveform, and this is the final output which is generated due to the capacitor. This is the rectangular waveform generation. Thank you.